welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be doing a list of average movies of 2020. I know no one ever does a list like this on YouTube. Actually it's probably rarely if anyone did do this, but I just kind of want to do like an average movie list this year. I've never done this before. I know it's very late coming out, it's like we're literally in Feb right now. But yeah, this is my list of average movies of 2020. It's in no particular order. It's just movies I just thought could have been better. But yeah, some things that didn't let them be better for me, as in that's the only reason. But some people probably absolutely love these films, which I completely understand. But for me, I was just they're just like literally just ended up being average for me. And yeah, so I'll be naming the film and explaining my reasons why I think they're average. But yeah, let me see. I'm definitely recording. Yes, I am. Sorry about that. I've got to double check every time because I got a new light. And the light is literally in front of the record button, so I have to check every time. So yeah, let me start off the list. It's no particular order at all. I'm just naming films basically and explaining my reason. So first film on the list is Bloodshot, starring Vin Diesel. And the reason I found this film average, I did enjoy the action scenes and they were shot well. The film did look really good and it was enjoyable in parts. I did enjoy in parts. Me and Lou watched it together and we both did enjoy in parts. But it's just sitting through Vin Diesel's same acting in every role. I'm not being mean, but I really do I do like Vin Diesel. I've been a fan for years. I do think he's a very good looking guy. And I have enjoyed him in a few films. I've enjoyed him in not necessarily the Fast and Furious films as much. I just think he's a bit dry in them films. I do think sometimes the other actors overtake him a little. So not really the Fast and Furious films. I've enjoyed him in films like The Pacifier and the film he did with, I think it was Elijah Wood, the witch sort of film. I enjoy him in them for films more. And of course, Pitch Black. I enjoy him in them films too. But yeah, some films I've enjoyed him in, some films I just find him a bit, and just a bit, his acting can be very dry, and do think it's very much the same acting in nearly every role he does. Bloodshot, I did feel the same, was just the same again, but I did enjoy the film. I really liked the action scenes, and there was some good scenes in it, and I did love the actor, the British actor. The guy, I don't know if the actor's actually British or not, but he's got a British accent in the film. I really enjoyed him. I've not watched a film in months, so I've kind of forgotten the names of characters. But I really enjoyed it when he came into the film. I thought, added a bit of comedy, added a bit of entertainment when he came in. I'm glad he came in to save the film a little bit. But otherwise, there was a lot of just scenes just dragging out, a lot of just nothing really going on for me. At times, but then the action scenes were fun and the story was interesting though. I have to admit, I did enjoy the story though. So yeah, that's the reason it's in the middle for me. But yeah, average. And next film on the list is The Decline. So yeah, this is literally my first taste of French Canadian cinema, and The Decline was, and this film was on Netflix. Me and Luke both watched it, and we started up enjoying the film. We did enjoy it, and it was an interesting story of it. By the way, this is going to be spoilers alert. I'll just warn you right now. So anyway, I'll be able to explain why the movie's average for me. So yeah. Oh my god, what's going on with me? So yeah, The Decline. Interesting story. I like the premise. That these bunch of people that are learning to basically survival skills, if that makes sense. learning some survival skills by this famous YouTuber who makes YouTube videos on basically on that subject. And the reason they come to him is because they want to learn themselves, until it starts to get really the guy who's a YouTuber who has his own YouTube channel starts to turn a little bit very much not what they expected, a complete sinister side from him. And yeah, especially with what happens in the film as well, when the guy gets, I think it's a guy or girl that get killed in one scene, I can't remember, but he's just oh, don't care, just don't pay attention, kind of dump the body and just carry on with what we're doing sort of thing. And it's just everyone else starts to react and be like, no way, everyone's just really angry. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like the turn, the turn it takes the film, and the character turn as well of the main guy. But then the only problem is it just kind of dragged a little bit in parts. That's the only thing. Sort of like the second half, you kind of lose interest. But then it starts to get a bit more interesting when one of the characters' name, I think her name's Rochelle. I remember her name quite well. And the guy, I can't remember the character's name, but both of them are trying to escape from him, and they're literally around his house trying to escape because his house is just like kind of security protected as well, isn't it? So they can't really. I mean, no, sorry, not security protected. What am I trying to say? It's in the middle of nowhere, so they can't really like. They don't know how to get out really. So they're just trying to find ways to escape. And I did enjoy them scenes, though I have to admit. So it was just like, in parts I enjoyed the film, and in parts I just got kind of lost interest in the film. But yeah, I enjoy them scenes when they're trying to escape from him and everything. And I would still watch it again, though. I'd still watch it again. I kind of enjoyed it in parts, so yeah. I'd watch the film again. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Oh, oh my god, I was wondering what that was just my phone scaring me. But yeah, I definitely would love to check out more French Canadian cinema as well. As I'm currently learning to speak French, so it would help me a lot with my pronunciation with French words, as I have a terrible French accent. So yeah, I definitely would love to check out more of French Canadian sort of films. But yeah, next on the average movie list is Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. And this was actually, most of the film very enjoyable. I loved the action in it. It was shot really well, and the story was so interesting. And Chris was just brilliant. Like, his character is just so good in the film. You love his character. You just fall in love with it. And I'd say the little kid was alright. The little boy, the 15-year-old. I think he's like 15 years old. The boy is. He was alright in the film, but I just thought, you just when you got. But then Chris Hemsworth was just like kind of like overtaking him as well. But it is Chris Hemsworth at the end of the day. But yeah, I enjoyed that film so like a lot in parts. I really enjoyed it, and of course Bollywood actor Randeep Hooda was in it as well, and he's just like such a brilliant actor. But with how Bollywood just gone downhill in the 2010s, it's just not really been many opportunities for him within the industry too, sadly, as a lot of nepotism exists in today's Bollywood, sadly. That's the truth. So it was just great for Randeep to do this film as well, and I'm really happy that he did this film, and it gave him such a good opportunity to get more Hollywood films and to showcase how much of a good actor he really is. Like, I thought he was brilliant in the action scenes. His acting was so good, and I just loved him in this film. He really was shining in this film, and I was like, he shined in this film more than any other Bollywood film, which isn't his fault. It's just what's given in Bollywood to him. He just didn't really get a chance to shine as much. But then this film, he actually really did shine. Like him and Chris were just my favourites in this film. They were just so brilliant. But the only thing that just really disappointed me in this film was the ending. The ending is just so disappointing. So, like, yeah, Chris's teammates, who already sent him out there to do something risky like this, don't even try to help him in the end when all that kicks off. They're just standing there watching him like idiots, and I'm just like, you guys are trained in the same thing. Like, you're trained to deal with bad guys. You're trained to do this. Like, why are you not helping him? Not even helping him, just sort of watching him. And I just thought the woman actress really wasn't good. I thought she was just average as well. Like, you got. I just thought like a part she was a bit, just very blank at times too. And then you just got to watch her her sort of bad acting in the end of the film, and it did annoy me when Chris is just such a brilliant actor, and then like. And then that ending scene just really annoyed me. I was just like, you have just ruined this amazing film. Like, I really did not like that film. But I mean, I really did not like the ending. But I will watch the film again. But just that ending is so disappointing. It could have been better, but sadly, it wasn't. So, like, but I'd still watch it. But I just wouldn't even bother with the ending part. I just hated the ending so much. But yeah, that's the reason it's on my list. That's the reason Extraction is on my list, because of that. And which is sad. So my next one is A Whisked Away. Whisked Away? Oh my god, what have I wrote? Yeah, so this movie was Whisked Away is an anime movie, and I was excited to watch this film. I thought it looked really cute, as I do love my animals, and you know, it's just like about cats. And I was excited to watch this film. Beautiful anime, stunning anime. When it started, I was like, wow, this looks really nice. But I just thought the story was more for little kids. But I do enjoy kids films, because some kids films are not just for kids, that adults can enjoy too. But with this movie, I do feel like it's more kids or young teens can enjoy this film more a little bit. But other than that, I still, you know, really respect the film. I think it's just an interesting story. What happens with her as well, and you know, it's quite sad as well in parts, so you do feel bad for her character too. And yeah, I thought it was a really interesting idea that she could turn into a cat too. Oh my god, how funny is that? But yeah, and I really love the character of the cat. You know, the cat that offered her offered her that he can change her into a cat sort of thing. That character I really enjoyed as well. I thought he was quite a brilliant character. He was like quite funny as well. But yeah, it was more of a kids film. That's the only reason I've put it in my average movie list. For myself as in my list as in, but for kids they'd 100% enjoy this film, and it would be like, you know, it would be like one of the most favourite films ever. I understand why anyone would enjoy this film though, but of course for me it was just average movie list because it's more for kids. But other than that, stunning anime, and story idea was good though. Story idea was there, so I do give it credit at the same time. But yeah, next movie is, sorry, I wrote it all down as I will not remember top of my head. You're asking for a lot there. Okay, so One Way to Tomorrow. It's basically a Turkish movie I watched, which came out last year. It was on Netflix. And I just wanted to check it out. And I was like, I've not watched a Turkish movie in a while, as I used to watch quite a lot of Turkish films back in the day. I used to mainly watch horrors, though. I really enjoy Turkish horrors. They're like so interesting as well. Some of them are not that scary, but I still like, you know, watch them anyway. But yeah, some of them can be quite scary though. After me, I've watched some Turkish horror films that are quite scary too. And I thought, I've not watched a Turkish film in a while, so I just typed in on Netflix and played One Way to Tomorrow. Played that film, and I thought it was an interesting story idea. You know, with what's gone on with both of them in their lives, and you know, in their story previously. But then I just felt like in this whole train journey, it wasn't really much of an exciting sort of train journey. Like, you know, films like this, it can be a really exciting train journey. Like twists and turns can happen, but this one, it was just very much like kind of dry in parts. In some scenes, I did lose interest. I was like, like, I think there's good chemistry between the main guy and girl. Great chemistry between the both of them. But other than that, I just thought. But of course, I'm guessing it was just trying to be a simple film. It wasn't trying to be anything outrageous or crazy or anything like that, or anything out there too much. I understand why it was the way it was. The film, it was just a very simple film. It was just a lot of talking in it, not really much happening in parts. That was my only issue with the film, really. I enjoyed the characters. I like the characters in the film, but it was just a lot of like dragged out scenes and everything like that. I see my only issue with it, but overall I thought story idea was good, but just a little dragged out for me. That's the only reason it's my average movie list. So yeah, next movie is Fatal Affair, starring Nia Long. No, sorry. Yeah, so this film stars Nia Long, and I enjoy this film. I did enjoy in parts, but I've seen this about a million times. This sort of storyline of like someone being a stalker, ex being a stalker, or like someone after or trying to break up someone's relationship, sort of stalker thing. We've seen the stalker story a bit too many times at the same time. But Fatal Affair, I thought I'd still check out anyway. I was like, oh, let's just check it out, let's see what it's like. And I watched the film, and it was just like, it was okay. It was just okay for me in parts. Like, I wouldn't say it was a bad movie. It was just okay. Only reason being, I just thought I've seen this too many times. Like, the film just felt predictable. It was obvious what was going to happen next. And I thought with the actor that was playing the crazy ex-lover, I didn't really think he really fitted that role. He was a good actor, but I just thought he just didn't really fit the role. That's the only thing. That's the only issue I had as well. So it wasn't really convincing, and it was just too predictable in parts. That's my only issue with it. But other than that, interesting story. It's just something to watch. I'd say a time pass film. Like, if you just there's nothing to literally watch, then yeah, especially during lockdown. People have probably run out of stuff to watch, really. So yeah, if you want to watch Fatal Affair, if it's still on Netflix, then definitely check it out, or get it for DVD, or get it on DVD. It's probably like, you know, probably online as well to check out. So yeah, go for it. And if you don't enjoy it, then you can sell it. But yeah, I put it in my. I'd still watch it again though. Like, you know, it's just kind of it's one of those alright films that you'd probably just watch again. Still, if it was on TV, or if there's like literally nothing to watch, because look at lockdown right now. Like, what is it doing to people? All we can do is just like not really do many things, sadly. But yeah, so that was Fatal Affair. So next movie is Project Power with Jamie Foxx. And I love Jamie Foxx so much. I think he's such a good actor. Oh my god. And like, I just think such a likeable guy. Like, is anyone more likeable than Jamie Foxx at times? Like, when I see him on screen, I'm just like, I sometimes think that about him. But actors like, you know, him, Will Smith, Chris Hemsworth as well. Oh, don't forget. And Henry Cavill, like, and Brad Pitt. Actors like that are very likeable. I just like, you know, you just look at them and you're like, wow. You just can't like take your eyes off them when they're on screen. They're just that good. And yeah, with Jamie Foxx, I really enjoyed him in Project Power. I thought he was funny in this film. He did entertain and make me laugh. But like, it started off really good, the film did. I was really interested in the film, and some really cool scenes. I really, oh my god, some really good scenes at the beginning. I was proper enjoying it, proper got into the film. But then midway, I just lost interest. The story just started to like just kind of bore me a little bit, and I just thought the female actress that was with Jamie Foxx was playing the teen girl. I just thought she wasn't much of a good actress, and you know, she started to like, it started to really show, and it did start to annoy me a little bit as well at times, especially like next to Jamie Foxx, who's just a brilliant actor. Especially when we saw how amazing he was in Spider-Man 2. Like, oh my god, what a man. But I just like, you know, but I understand it's probably her first film. At the end of the day, you know, everyone sort of has nerves in their first film, and they're like not going to really, you know, there's less likely a chance they'll do a good acting job, especially if they're nervous. And especially if you're next to Jamie Foxx, you probably are going to be like, oh my god, get yourself more worked up. But yeah, I understand it's not her fault. It's probably her first ever film anyway. She'll probably improve, I'm guessing, over the years. But that's it. But yeah, with the film, I just lost interest in the story. Like, towards the end, I was like, started off so good, and now I've just like lost interest, and it's just sort of like meh. Like towards the end, but I'd still watch it again just for the cool scenes. I'll watch it again. But yeah, next movie. Oh yes. Oh my god, it's just such a So yeah, next movie is The Bridge Curse, which is a Chinese movie. Came out last year in 2020, and I weirdly kind of like this film in parts. I weirdly liked it in parts, and one thing I give this film credit for, it was set in 2012. This film is. So this movie's set in 2012, and they actually wore clothes like they were in 2012. The film actually got that part right. Especially, I'm like, you know, I do love my clothes and fashion. I know in my YouTube videos a lot of time I just look a mess anyway, but I do pay attention, so I know like what era, who wore what. So that's one thing I give this film credit for. They actually got it right. While some films I'll be set in a particular year and they'll just get the clothes wrong, and it's like, no one wore that in that year. You just completely a different era. And Bollywood is the worst for doing it. They'll show someone's past many years ago, but then they're so late. But then like some Bollywood films have been so lazy that they can't even be asked to like put them in clothes of what people would have worn in that year. Like, that's happened a few times in Bollywood. I'm like, this is meant to be a few years ago. No one wore that a few years ago. That's what people are wearing now. Like, you know, like, I've just seen it happen. So this film I give credit for. They actually look like they're in 2012. But I just thought, I like the idea of it. I thought it was a very interesting idea. Whoever visits the bridge gets, yeah, of course, cursed. And then the ghost just goes after them, whoever visits the bridge. And the only issue with the film was, I just think it was a lot of dragged out scenes, and I just thought every death was just a water death. Nearly like every death was, and it wasn't really creative. It wasn't really that creative. Maybe like the last one was, where it was on the roof, and the big water tank and everything. But Actually, did they drown in that part? I can't remember. Sorry, the film, it just dragged that much. I can't even remember that part. But lot of the deaths just water deaths, like done in the bathroom. I'm just like, oh my god, can you just stop like killing them off in the bathroom? I'm sick of seeing a bathroom after a bit in this film, and it was just very and the story just like lost interest after a bit as well because of that, and and the way some of the scenes were shot was like just a bit irritating in parts. That's the only thing. I understand they probably didn't have much of a budget. I completely understand, but you do get a bit annoyed as well at that, and yeah, so that's literally my reason why. But yeah, that's my quite a few reasons why I didn't really get into the film. But I did like the idea of it. I just wish it was done a little better. The actors were good though. I have to admit the acting was good in the film. I'll give them credit; they were really good. But yeah, sadly, I feel bad though because I do enjoy North Asian cinema, and I feel bad that I had to put this in the average list, but it's average list anyway. It's sort of like I'd still watch it again anyway, so why not? Okay, next movie I have here is Nocturne, which was a really interesting film. Like, especially me, like loving music. I already love music. I record song covers on my channel here and there. I need to do them more often though. That's literally my New Year's resolution of doing song covers more often on my channel and working on my singing voice. Right now I shouldn't sing though because I'm completely out of breath and I can barely talk, so let alone sing. But yeah, as I do love music, I have a lot of respect for it, and it was just interesting to see this film, like about two sisters who are both like trained, piano players, I can never say that word, but trained piano players, and they're both really good. Both really good at what they do, and it's just like interesting to see, one sister overshadow the other once she gets hold of that notebook, and just watch her like, you just watch her take over and then get with her boyfriend, and it's just like, oh my god, what is happening to this girl? Like, she's like meant to be the shy girl, and then and then like the notebook. It's either like, I just think it's mainly the notebook that probably like changed her to be that, or she was like that all along. We just don't know, but it's interesting to see the character change. The only thing I just wasn't feeling was the main actress was very, I don't know. She could act in parts, but then very much at times it was very plain her acting was. I'm like, just very cold her acting was at times. I understand her character was a bit cold anyway, but yeah, just a bit blank at times. That's the only thing. I wasn't a fan of her acting. I thought the sister was a better actor than her, but than the main girl. But I still enjoyed the film though. I enjoyed the parts in it, and it was trying to be a different sort of film, and yeah, I still enjoyed it though. I did like the story and everything, and it was it was trying to be something different. That's what I respect about the film. I'd still watch it again, but the only thing was it just in parts it just is very dry in parts. That's my only issue. I don't really like. I've never got into dry films. Like I could sort of watch them when I was younger because I didn't really notice like them. I didn't notice them being as dry when I was younger. But as I got older, I'm just like, oh my god, this is so dry. Like, you just start admitting it more when you're older as well. But yeah, Nocturne, it just could have been better, but some scenes you all sort of just lose interest in parts. But other than that, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a bit like, kind of a bit of a thriller at the same time. Tiniest bit though. But yeah, so next movie on the list is Eurovision Song Contest. Eurovision movie. Good. I wouldn't say it's bad. No way I'd say it's bad because it's interesting to see like the journey of this duo, yeah, they're in a duo, aren't they? Trying to make it from Iceland, and it was really funny to watch. The parts when they're in Iceland as well, and with it putting on an accent, it was so funny to watch Rachel McAdams and is it Will Ferrell? Is that his name, Will Ferrell? I was getting confused with another actor too, and I can't. He looks like another actor, and that's why. But I'm such a fan of his as well. Oh my god, I'm a fan of both actors. But yeah, please say it's Will Ferrell. Hopefully, I've not got it wrong. But yeah, I really enjoyed. I enjoyed them two together in this film. I thought the chemistry was really good, and it started off really funny. The film did. I enjoyed it, and they started to, when they're starting their journey and trying to like get through. But then in parts, you're just sort of like, oh no. Especially with him, he's like, he just doesn't learn from his mistakes, and you just sort of like get annoyed at him, and you're like, come on, like, you just like you can't just do that same thing again and again. I'm not saying I'm perfect. No one's perfect. We all make mistakes. But like at parts, you just watch him and you like start getting annoyed. You're like, stop it! Oh my god! I understand they're doing it for comedy reasons, but then sometimes like after a bit, you can't really find it funny. You just start to get annoyed with him. And I just don't really. I just think this whole film, she could have got with the guy who was the Eurovision singer too from Russia. Like, she should have got with him in the end, because I thought Will's character was actually a really selfish, spoiled little brat at times, and she's the one there who's trying to hold him together and make him feel better a lot throughout the whole film. Like, she's actually a good person who's trying to make him feel better. But then he's just like a little moany little baby. He's like, how embarrassing was that? I'm not taking part in this, and walks away and then leaves her by herself to perform. I'm like, wow. Well, only like turns up for like the end, doesn't he, just to show his face? And it's like, why would she just like continue like with him? Because he's just a spoiled little brat. She's always just got to like baby him and relax him, because he's just ungrateful. He's literally an ungrateful character, isn't, like, you know, at times he looks like he's just ungrateful for her anyway, and you know, she's so good to him. And I just thought to myself, she should get with the Russian guy, like the Russian singer. He's actually more not. He actually, I know he's there as a villain, but he's actually more nicer to her than he is. I'm like, what? What is going on in this film? It's not really helped itself in that way. But it was a funny film. I really did find it hilarious in parts. Like, it was entertaining in parts, and I'd still watch it again. But I enjoy their acting. I thought everyone's acting was really good in it. They're all brilliant, and I loved the appearance by Pierce Brosnan. He was Bond. I love him. Such a fan of his as it is. And I love that he came in the film too to play his dad. He's just like, you know what's funny? He looks younger than him. That's what makes me laugh. Pierce looks so young, even looks younger than the guy who's meant to be his son in the film. It's just like quite hilarious, only because of how young Pierce looks. Like, he just looks amazing still. He's literally outdoing 20-something-year-old men out there. And yeah, I still watch Eurovision again, because as I do enjoy the Eurovision Song Contest as well, I do like try to watch it every year. And I enjoy the performances a lot. It's always really fun, and I'm glad they did a film on it. I'm really excited. Like, I was really excited to watch this as well, but I wasn't disappointed though, because I did enjoy it in parts. But it's just like some parts you are just like not really, just unnecessary like scenes in it at times, and that's my only issue with the film. So that's why it's in my average list. But other than that, I enjoyed it, and I'll still watch it again. Oh, definitely still recording. Yes, I am. Sorry, you have to see my face right in the camera. So what we on next? So yeah, Ghost at War was that's the next film on the list. It was a really interesting film. I like the story of it, and I love the ending, the big reveal at the end, which was so interesting. But such an interesting film. I'd still watch it again, but there is a lot of like nothing going on at times, and you lose interest a little. That's my big issue with it. But other than that, everyone's acting is really good in it. I did enjoy, you know, all the actors in the film too. Really, really good. But yeah, that was my only issue with it. Was just that a lot of scenes like that, unnecessary scenes. But other than that, the film was good. I thought the story idea was interesting. I just think just those scenes and there, like, you know, just dragged it out. That's my only problem. It drags in parts. But good story, interesting idea, and you know, well done to film for, like, you know, thinking of a story like this as well. So yeah, I wouldn't like. So that's the only reason. It's just in my average list only because of that. But other than that, it's just, yeah, it could have just been a little bit better if it just didn't drag out for me so much. But some people like dragged out scenes. They like it, don't they? They like scenes where people are talking about ages in one scene, or something's just like getting shown a bit too longer than usual. People enjoy it because people call it art, don't they? For them it's art, but for me I'm just like, get to the point. Oh my god. But other than that, yeah, Ghost at War was good. I definitely want to watch it again as well. But yeah, oh my god, I'm out of breath. I've been talking so long. So next movie on the average movie list is The Call, which is a Korean movie. Very much looking forward to this film. I did a trailer reaction to this, and it looked really interesting. And believe me, the story was interesting. I watched the film, and Me and Luke both watched it, but then the beginning parts really drag. It's very dry as well. It starts off interesting, but then you just sort of like, it just drags. It's just the way it's set out as well. That's my only issue with it as well. It's just the setting of it, just very, just very like dry at times too. The film was. That's my only issue. It only got interesting when the girl, you know, it shows a girl trying to murder people, the villain girl in the film murdering people, and you know, her interaction with, you know, the girl in the future and everything, and the girl in the future just trying to change the past really. But then the ending just didn't really make sense to me. I thought the ending was a bit of a letdown too. But yeah, the only reason I just think it's average, because it could have been good, but it's just like, you know, what I've named really. It's just made it a bit of an average film for me, which I was a little disappointed, because I was really looking forward to this film. It looked brilliant in the trailer, but then when I watched it, it was just like, it was just, me and Luke both watched it and we were just like, we were kind of disappointed a little bit actually. Maybe because we expected it to be like the most brilliant film ever, but I think that's why. I think that was maybe the reason for it, because we expected it to be brilliant, and you know, it didn't really meet, you know, it wasn't what we expected, like what we watched in the trailer. It was like Baby Driver. When we watched it in the trailer, it looked brilliant, but then when we actually watched it, we just got bored. But yeah, I think maybe that's what happens when you build yourself up to that it'll be a brilliant film and it isn't, and you're just like, oh. But yeah, that's what the problem with the call was, that. But yeah, next movie is Cadaver, which was a Norwegian movie. I've never seen a Norwegian film in my life, so I was actually excited to watch this. I was like, oh, it's a new sort of cinema for me to experience. I'm excited. I love watching foreign films anyway. Like, I have no problem watching subtitles, or I prefer to watch subtitles than dubbed, because I like to hear the actual language they speak, as I like to travel the world and, you know, experience different cultures as it is, and hear different languages and learn new languages too. So yeah, that's why I just love, you know, films with subtitles. I don't like dubbed movies. I like to hear the actual language that they're speaking and the subtitles at the bottom. I really prefer that. You get a lot of lazy people in this world who don't want to read subtitles because they're lazy. That's fine. That's fine, you know. But me, it's just complete opposite. I'm just like, give me a different language, give me subtitles as well, so I know what they're saying, so I know what's going on in the film. But yeah, I was really excited to check this film out, and it was an interesting film. I did enjoy the story as well, what they go through and trying to find their daughter and everything in that big hotel, and it's just all quite scary and all sinister, and you just don't know what's going to happen next. That's what I loved, how unpredictable. I love that the film was unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen next, and it was really interesting. But still, you like look at it and you'd be like, you wouldn't really. They get the offer, don't they? Because they're a poorer family, and they get the offer to have dinner at a nice hotel, and you know, take part in the little game they're playing in there as well. And you wouldn't really trust anything like that in real life. You'd be like, come on, what rich man's going to do this for poorer people? You still wouldn't trust it, especially in this day and age. You'd only trust it if the person was genuine, if the person's known for being a genuinely good person and everyone knows it. Then yeah, but if you wouldn't trust it was just someone you barely knew, and you know, they're just offering this, you're like, what's the catch? Do we have to sacrifice our souls or something for what's going on? And my only disappointment with this film was it started off interesting, but the big reveal of it was just like not really that. Didn't like the big reveal. It would have been more interesting if they were actually like killing humans for like human meat or something, like something like really dark as that, because the film was already quite dark as it is when it started off, and I thought it'd be like that, but it just didn't really have much of a good ending. I just didn't really get into it. That was the only problem. I just didn't get into I just wasn't as in what I'm trying to say. I did get into the film, and I'd still watch it again, but the ending part I just really didn't agree with. I didn't like it. I just thought, oh, so they're just taking people in the hotel just to work for them and be actors for them, and that's all it was, I think. I swear it was only that, and I was like, oh, is that it? Okay. You know, cool. But yeah, that's the only disappointment with the film, was just the ending and the big reveal. Yeah. But yeah, so next movie is Don't Listen, which is a Spanish film, which is a horror. And it was I enjoyed this film. I did enjoy it. Like, you know, the son mysteriously dies in the house, and then the dad hires them paranormal experts to like investigate, and it was really interesting to watch in parts. And everyone's acting was good in it. I really enjoyed everyone's acting, and But then just the ending was a bit disappointing. All it was just the dad killed the son and that's it. And you're just like, oh, okay, is that it? You just wish it was like something more. But other than that, I thought it was quite scary in parts. Like it didn't depend on jump scares to get through the film, which was a good thing. It was actually like quite creepy in parts. So I thought the creepiness level was brilliant though, as I do love my horrors. So yeah, I didn't mind the film. I'd still watch it again, but it was just, yeah, the ending and the reveal at the end, just like the proofs, you know, just like Cadaver, but just like that, just the ending was a bit disappointing. But yeah, that's my reason for it. So, last movie on my average list is Vanguards, starring Jackie Chan, which came out last year, and I'd still watch this film again. It was a very average film for me, but I'd still watch it again. I did enjoy some of the action scenes I enjoyed, but some of them just like looked a bit off at times as well, and there was just a lot of like a bunch of things going on which didn't really make sense at times. I was like, huh, where's the story gone from here to there? And the main girl, oh, by the way, the film's basically a Chinese film, and yeah, the main girl, she's like basically trying to, like an animal saver type. I think she's basically trying to save animals, but then they're making her look all nice and pretty and glamorous in the middle of the jungle. I'm like, yeah, you totally look like someone who goes all the way out to Africa to save animals, yeah, while she's looking that glamorous, like she's just got her hair blow dried in the salon. Like you're literally in the middle of like a safari, basically a safari park. I'm pretty sure you won't be looking that glamorous. No one would be. Not even the most beautiful woman would look that glamorous. I'm like, yeah, she so looks convincing. You're like, yes, we can tell what this film's doing, just selling on looks. Men are good looking in the film, women are good looking in the film, and that's what this film was trying to do, just sell the film on looks. And one bit really made me laugh, that the main girl, who is like the animal saver type, she falls asleep in the middle of like the jungle, safari park. So she falls asleep in the middle of there, and wakes up looking beautiful and glamorous. And so does the guy who's sleeping with her in there. They don't sleep together. They just sleep in there just to hide out from the criminals and stuff. And he's sleeping in there with her, and they both wake up like looking so fresh and nice. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you're in a hot country. One, you're in a hot country. Two, in a hot country, there's insects everywhere. You would have woke up like with more like being attacked by mosquitoes, especially you're outside, you're not inside. You're in like an open sort of like, they're in this open sort of like thing hanging off the air. I don't know what it's called, but it's like open, it's got no doors or nothing really, so there would have been like a few flies or something, and they would not have woke up looking that glamorous. They would have been woke up sweating, more like insect bites. You know, I've went to India so many times, so believe me, I know what you look like when you have slept in a hot country. and Africa is just as hot as India, so you know, they would not wake up like glamorous. I'm like, oh my god, this film's really like it's like a music video. That's what it was, trying to just make them look too pretty. Yeah, so I thought the film was a little superficial on that part, like everyone had to be pretty in the film, even though it was an action film anyway, so I don't know why everyone had to be like so pretty and perfect all the time. But yeah, I enjoyed I just enjoyed the film, but the story just didn't make sense. It's one of those you should watch when you're drunk, because there's literally no story in it. It's just one thing going on after the other, and you're just like, what is even going on? One action scene's after the other, one action scene after the other. I love my action scenes, but I do like at least some story, a little bit of some story explaining why this has happened and what you know, why they're here, why they're there. It was just a lot of like, they're just here doing action and that's it. And they end up in the Middle East, which was like interesting, you know. I think it was in Dubai. And I've been to Dubai before, so I was like, oh my god, wow. You know, it was all nice and everything, but I just, I just thought it was just a lot of like, bunch of stuff going on, and it doesn't really make sense. So that was my issue with the film. That's why Vanguard is very average for me. But I'd still watch it again. I still enjoyed it, as I'm a Jackie Chan fan, so I will still watch his films. Even if he has something really terrible out, I'd still watch it. But Vanguard, I'd watch again. I'll probably watch again when I'm drunk though, but I still really enjoyed that film. Don't get me wrong. But yeah. But that's literally all of my list. Oh my god. Oh, it's been a bit of a long day. But yeah, that's literally all my list of my average movies, and some people probably don't agree with me, some people probably do agree with me why I put those films on the average list. But yeah, my average list, my mare list. But if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe to both my Luke's channels, and follow us on our social medias, and I will see you all soon. Thank you again for watching, and yeah, see you next time. Oh, my mouse has even froze. What is going on?